Hello, everybody. It is I, your favorite VTuber here, Lindsay. And I just want to make this video crazy to talk about. And yes, I know you guys are going to ask me a lot of questions here. And I'm just going to tell you what it is. So it has to do with the Brawl Star community, specifically within, well, probably two YouTubers. Maybe. And actually, it has to do with probably both of them. Because I think I know there's something going on. So if you guys don't know, your girl in our IRL form has been out of the loop with watching two YouTubers. You guys know them, and that is Not With a Heart and Ray. Now, I'm not sure if this is entirely true, because allegedly, it's going to be a lot of questions to ask. But for those who don't know, yes, your girl has been out of the loop. And why is that? Well, it's because she's been dealing with a lot of stress. As most likely, I would definitely blame my estranged father, for one thing, who decided to force me into a hotel room with my mother and did not bother let me making content. So shame on him. 2, it's because I moved to Florida. Yeah. 3, my mother is now in a rehab facility, and I don't know when she's going to come home, to be honest. Because of that, my aunt is trying to take care of her. Meanwhile, I'm all by myself. Well, no thanks to my brother, who rather work at the bowling alley all the way back in upstate and all the way up north in Pennsylvania. With that being said, I'm trying to reestablish my streaming career and most likely on my YouTube career, which apparently that brings me with some YouTubers who I'm going to watch going forward. One of them, if I want to deal with all the Brawl Star stuff, I can look over to Spen LC, and of course, maybe I'll watch Corey, and probably Panda. But some who I haven't watched in a while, probably like Lex, Kairos, and of course, Ray and Nat. And I do like them, but it feels like I'm off without them. Off when I try to watch them. And maybe even OJ once in a while, but depending on how you want to look at it. Anyway. So, furthermore, I haven't been much to that. Plus, I've lately been busy on another community way besides the Brawl Stars community, even though I will be, because of trying to see if anybody in North America who would win the Brawl Stars World's Final. Or probably we may see somebody from Japan again, and in the form of maybe, I don't know, Zeta Division? Or the possibility Crazy Raccoon could end up winning. Even though I'm surprised that this year's Brawl World's Finals is taking place in Japan. I think Japan's going to be the main hub for it all. Then again, and so is France. Yeah, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, France is going to be the site of the Call of Duty League Major 4, or otherwise known as the Gentle Meats Major. And it will be also the site of the Esports World Cup, since it's been revealed that, how do I explain this? since the Esports World Cup had decided to change venues from being in Riyadh at, at Saudi Arabia to Paris, France. Yep. Of course, between those two, also the CDL Championship will be taking place over in Las Vegas. But, yeah. Which apparently I'm going to be watching and here in my Florida home. Usually I would watch the Call of Duty League in my own room back home in New Jersey, but not anymore since nobody wants me there, not even my estranged father or my brother. But with that being said, I know some of you guys are saying, why can't you just go enjoy Ray and Nat again? Well, it's because of two things. One is because I've been out of loop, and two, I believe, allegedly, they are getting married soon. And what's the best thing to do is to step away from both of the communities. And plus, it's best for me to try to establish my community and build it up there. Oh, and by the way, if you guys don't know, yes, I am wearing green. My VTuber outfit is green. And for those who are wondering, why is that? Well, you can see, for one thing for sure, is you can think I am supporting Riyadh Falcons in the Call of Duty League, or you can also think that I'm also supporting Optic Texas. Although, depending on what greens you're looking at, it's going to be kind of confusing. But with that being said, yes, I will be probably getting back into building up streams again. I mean, I am thinking I'm going to stream on different days. And usually I'll try to hit between 2 and 5 o'clock. Depends. Sometimes it could be a little bit later. But depending on if I'm hungry or not. Yeah, because your girl needs to eat. And when she doesn't eat, I feel nauseous. But with that being said, the only thing right now is I should be probably trying to watch the second minor tournament between what's going on Friday. But since Optic's not playing until tomorrow, that I could avoid that. But then again, might as well support the Falcon boys. Especially because lately Pred has been such a funny boy. You don't know what I mean by. Well, go watch Zuma's stream. I nearly laughed so hard and so much. It was all just because there was banter between, well, not really banter. It was more like beef between Envoy and Neptune. Let's just say Envoy had the last laugh, which Pred said, "Oh my god." So seriously, he's so funny. I mean, I haven't seen him gone so making a fool out of himself since the 2024 season. Which, by the way, you can see it on my TikTok account because I reacted to this. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, the boys went to doing, I think it was for the Major 1, which I believe it took place in Boston. Wait, I could look this up, even though I can't do it as a VTuber, but IRL I can. Let's see. Okay, dokie. Let's see. Um, hmm. I'm glad this can tell me how it went. Of course, I could do Wikipedia, but I can't do it as being a VTuber. Still trying to figure this out. Let's see. I think we should go under standings or schedule. Standings look like right now. Let's see. 2024 season. Which was the first season? Oh, yes. It was the Boston Breach Major 1 season. Major 1. Sorry, during the 2024 season. Crap. I screwed this. Yep. It was pretty funny. I nearly laughed my butt off because Prince screamed and all of a sudden Shotzi, Kenny, and of course Dashi all were like giggling so hard. Just because Fred had to scream. So, anyway. Yep, it was a pretty fun time, to say the least. And besides that, I should mention one thing. I think there's one person who could understand about this, and yeah, I know it's kind of ridiculous, and I will say this. Yep. For those who don't know, why I'm more trusting in, why more could be focused on Spen, and it's not just because I like Spen, I also like his wife, Lana, and I was very happy to see them both get married. Yep. Anyway, with that being said, plus I think both Lana and Spen do understand about me, since especially what happened last month while I was trying to watch the Brawl Cup, that while everybody was over in Germany, I was also watching the Major 3. Yeah. And the reason why I want to say that is because I believe Lana understands because, well, how can I put this? She knows because, like her husband, I too liked watching the Call of Duty League, and she knows that as well as, I don't know if Spen will, but if he does, that would be awesome. Especially because last year, I should mention this, while going to DreamHack Dallas, I guess maybe as a vacation / honeymoon? I don't know. They went to DreamHack Dallas, which they ended up watching, which apparently Spen got involved in a very special match with him, Spen, Kairos, and Ashlyn versus, well, three members of I'm trying to say this right. Sorry. As three members of Tribe Gaming's content creators, taking on against 100 Thieves content creators known as Brooke AB, Peter Park, and Ilium. Of course, I don't want to talk about Ilium right now. But anyway, it was kind of crazy watching them, but in the end of it all, Tribe Gaming did came up on top. I'm sorry, Brooke, Peter, and Ilium, but you do not want to mess with people who've been playing Brawl Stars for a long time, especially going up against the the first ever Brawl Stars World Champion, Spen. Yeah, it's true. If you guys didn't know, Spen LC, along with former Brawl Star players known as Tom and Cilium, I could say it. Aww. Sorry, I'm being silly. Uh, were in fact the first ever Brawl Stars esports world champions, but they were playing under, well, Nova Esports, and let's just say Nova really bailed out after they won, and I rather I rather just erase that than place them with Tribe Gaming, because after all, Tribe did pick them the up for the next season. Yeah, I guess it's kind of weird for me to say. But yes, while also there, Spin did something that I was like, bro, how could you? And I think because Lana took the photo, but let's just say Spin did something that I'm kind of jealous. Oh yeah, kind of jealous. If you didn't know, let's just say Spin took a photo with the head coach of the Riyadh Falcons. I mean, people are thinking there's no way. Well, he is now. I'm talking about Clayster. I kind of like him a little bit. I mean, he is kind of like, he's a goofball, kind of a nerd, a hottie, and whatnot. But I know he's probably thinking girls. But anyway, but he does make me laugh. It's all the stuff. Especially, I will never forget him going up against Aches in an episode of The Flank. And it was actually right before the 2024 season. And apparently, if you guys don't know the story, or if you go watch it, you may have to find it. But what happened was, right before the season kicked off, they were talking about rosters and all the CDL teams, and let's just say that Aches had a hard time believing that Clayster has 3 rings. But come on, Aches, you know better, man. He does. You helped him to get 1, I think, or was it somebody else? No, I was wrong. No, you actually have been winning in some kind of major, I guess, or I don't know, some tournament. But technically, yes, Clayster has 3 rings. 1 with, oh boy, now this is why I need Wikipedia. Let's see. Here we go, Wikipedia. Right. Let's see. Oh, wait. You know, this is why it's so hard for me to do it right. Where is it? Here we go. Clayster. Yep, Clayster has 3 rings. 1 in 2015 when he was representing Denial Esports. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, Denial Esports. Of course, his teammate. Of course, he was the MPV for that, and apparently his teammates at that time were Crowder, who currently is the head coach for FaZe Vegas, Attach, who is currently the head coach for the Stallions. Shout out to Tommy for that. Yes, Bezuma. And of course, JCap. And that was in 2015. In 2019, he also won. This is when he won his 2nd one. This time came as part of E United. And of course, his teammates were the Sanderson twins, otherwise known as Artices and Prestini, and apparently the Tiny Terrors of Simp and Abizi. even now they're no longer together, because Simp still was loyal to FaZe Ace, and BZ is now with 100 Thieves. Well, I should mean more specifically Los Angeles Thieves. My bad. And then, of course, his final one that he has gotten, but hopefully he probably will be if he can coach the Riyadh Falcon boys to their first ever Call of Duty League Championship, hopefully, is apparently, yes. So if you guys didn't know, the kicking off of the Call of Duty League season, the first season, which was definitely 2020, is when, and it was when Clayster was playing for Dallas Empire. At that time, Crim6 was actually the MPV. Of course, Clayster and Crim6's teammates were apparently the trio known as, I'm still confused by this, Zio? Which is Illy, Hugh, and Shotzi. Even now, Illy's retired, so is Clayster and Crim6. And apparently Shotzi and Hugh are now part of Optic Texas. and apparently, if you guys don't know, Shotzi is tied with Clayster and Crim6 with 3 rings. And if Optic Texas do win the CDL championship by next month, let's just say Shotzi will be the only one with 4 rings. 3 of them are with Optic Texas. But anyway, I'm actually that would be really cool. But then again, it would also, Clayster, if Clayster can get the Riyadh Falcons to their first CDL ring, that would be really awesome. And that would make Clayster having 4. But, like I said, if Optic wins, Damon will be having his 3rd coach ring, which will be a total of 6. And then we're going to call him DB6. I kid you not. If you guys don't know the lore, right before it was revealed that he would head coach Optic Texas after a disaster, Karma was known also by the nickname DB3, standing for Damon Barlow 3, as in 3 rings. But since he became the head coach for Optic Texas, let's just say, let's just say Damon has gotten 2 more rings since as the head coach. So it changed. So in 2024, we call him DB4, and last year we call him DB5. There's a possibility if Optic does win again, we're going to end up calling Damien in DB6. So yeah, there's going to be a war of who's having rings and whatnot. Of course, Karma will go down is the most infamous player out there. But then again, I don't know. I would like to see Clayster win one as the coach. I know there's somebody else who I feel like they should. And since he been the assistant coach for Los Angeles Thieves, now since he's the head coach for the Los Angeles Thieves, I'm talking about Shane. And as for Cinder, this would be his 2nd ring as assistant coach. Yeah. Of course. But I also should mention this. Out of all assistant coaches, that JP Cred is the only one who has 2, right? and Optic wins again, he'll be adding his third ring. That he'll be going down as the assistant coach with 3 CDL rings, which would be awesome. And also, here's some other facts. You know that Hugh would also have 3, but that was because of him playing for Dallas Empire and, of course, with Optic Texas. But it's actually Dashi is going to be going down in history, especially for Optic. He'll be only if Optic Texas do win the CDL championship this year. Dashi will be the only one representing Optic, winning 3, yes, count them, 3 CDL rings. Thanks. And anything that has to do with Call of Duty League or before Call of Duty League. So, yeah. Oh, this will be fun. But anyway, guys, yes. I just really want to express what's going on. But yes, I will be streaming again. And especially when I have to talk about some other things. Oh, by the way, I also wanted to mention one other thing. Yes, I have to tell you. Sorry for the coughing. See, since I don't have fully moving, sorry, because I need to get like $1,000. But here's what I'm gonna tell you, okay? For those who don't know, yes, I have a Throne account, which is throne.com/Lindsay. As of right now, the sports store is kind of being messy because I had getting things that I don't need to have. But things that are, well, not safe for work. Dark, but still you can see it. I do really need is gift cards. There's Amazon ones, there are ones for DoorDash, I think Grubhub is another. Of course I'll need Uber Eats as well. And probably others, because here's the reason why. I just don't want to spend a lot more money, especially when it drives my aunt nuts, and because everything's have been changed due to the fact that my mother had to be, well, how do I explain it? She switched out on something else, and until I can figure out what to do, I am only allowed to spend $1,000 in food and other necessary things. And I know it's not fair, but that's why I need you guys to understand. If you go on to throne.com/Lindsay, you buy gift cards, or if you see any of the fundraising, yes, including ones that says esports and /sports jerseys, please, anything you can do. Or if you do want to buy any of the stuff I asked for, it's kind of weird to say the least, but I hope you guys do understand. I'm also going to think about replying to add onto my socials when I especially promoting beacons.ai /Lindsay Rogers, which I know people are going to say, is it AI, Lindsay? And I'm like, yeah, I know. It is kind of, but it isn't, because I set up everything. So when I had to rate Redbubble, when I put Redbubble back onto to my links, yes, you can go ahead there, because it's going to be a store where for all my arts, and yes, there'll be merch going through there. Until I can find a better website that will let me to, I don't know, do something better. Oh, by the way, I should also mention, Throne is kind of crazy because here's the reason why. Boy, oh boy. You see, Throne has decided to put in a fee, a small amount of fee. But they want you to use their site if you don't want a 0 fee. And I'm like, really? So, yeah. So, if you're upset with the fees, please do not get mad at me. Take this out on Throne, because understand, I think they need the fee to keep their business intact. Okay? So, anyway, yes. Also, I also had Venmo. If you want to help me, my account is, I think it's Lindsay Rogers 1. I think. I don't know. I put it there, but anyway. The only other problem is going on is I need to try to remove the stuff that has been posted on the on my X account. Apparently, I've been having a hard time removing what I see, but it's kind of confusing me either way. So yes, if you want to, just make sure to use beacons.ai/Lindsay Rogers. Okay? Just don't go on to X. Or just follow me, but just don't use the links that I have been set up. I need to remove that immediately. Okay? Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. I'm sorry I'm yapping so long, but make sure to do me a favor and please hit that like button. Also, subscribe if you can, and also make sure to leave a comment. And just understand, I do care for you guys as much as I do for my own self. So, thank you all for watching. Anyway, and as of right now, I need to go cheer on the Riyadh Falcons. Yep, Falcons are here. Although, I think I think we need to go petition, how do I say this? I think we need to go petition all the apps, not the apps, I should say, those and emojis, especially for Apple and Android, because here's the reason why. Falcons have been using the Eagles emoji, and I feel weird about this because using the Eagles emoji is kind of weird because, yeah, let's just say it has to do with football. And I'm not talking about also known as soccer, I'm talking about the NFL. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay? Bye.